Welcome to the small kitchen of glory. Today, I'm going to be making one of my favorite hangover foods. I'm not hungover. I did not have too much to drink yesterday. That did not happen. Biscuits and gravy. Did I say that already? I don't know. One small onion for the meat. The meat will be this pound of a breakfast sausage. Very good. Very good. For the biscuits, we got flour, measuring, biscuit cutter, blah, blah, salt. What do we got here? This is all going to go in the gravy. Garlic powder, some Cajun seasoning. I like that. What do we got here? A little teeny bit of smoked paprika. I just love. I love the flavor that that smokiness puts in meat. A little bit of oregano, fresh oregano for the gravy as well. And the biscuits are just going to be butter, milk, which is in the fridge, flour, and some other stuff. We're going to start out by getting this onion cut up for the gravy, and then we're going to get into making the biscuits so that I can fry up the gravy and get that going while the biscuits are in the oven doing their cooking thing. If this is something you'd want to make, you can do it. You can just buy the Pillsbury biscuits. You don't have to make your own necessarily. It is really yummy, but not required. But I'm kind of taken to really enjoying making my own biscuits lately. I just want these diced up really good, so I'm cutting them and then giving them some extra little chops. Get these onions in a bowl, mostly. It's a fun thing about being blind and trying to scoop stuff into a bowl. It's always an experience. You get most of it in there, but maybe not all of it. Good enough. We're going to go ahead and set this aside. Now for these biscuits, we're going to use 2 cups of flour. I'm going to pack the flour in with my palm. Just want to make sure you got a good heavy 2 cups. We're just going to get both these in to the bowl. Now into the 2 cups of flour, I'm going to go ahead and throw in, oh, that's not a tablespoon. That was a tablespoon plus. There we go. I want to put this in my hand and then sprinkle it into the flour. Beautiful. Now the original recipe calls for half a teaspoon of salt, but more salt, more better. That's what I say. Give this a quick little, just a little bitty mix up, just to make sure it's all beautiful. Now I'm just going to cut a stick of butter into here, and I'll go through the process of that. If I sound off, I really am. I lied. I do have a hangover. This is one of my favorite hangover foods, though, so that be why I'm making it. Butter. So I have a whole stick here. It was in the fridge and the freezer. Spoon sticking to my knife, and I'm going to cut it along it, like so. I'm going to flip it on its side, because you want the butter in small pieces. You're not going to straight up mix it in. You want it to stay cold. Cut it that way, like so. Get the paper out of here. Put it in my pocket. Now we're just going to slice this into nice thin butter pieces. Again, I don't want to touch it too much. I have to touch it because, well, I can't see the dang thing. But I want to keep it cold and get it into smallish pieces. There we go. There might be a little bit of onion going in here. That's fine. It's science. Now, I'm going to use my hand to break this butter up and separate it in the flour before I get a fork and start cutting it in. This is one of the weirdest things about biscuits, because you're not actually mixing in the flour and the butter, you're just cutting it in, which means I got it in there. I'm just pressing on it with a fork. I'll scrape off the fork every once in a while. After I do this, I usually go through it with my hands and then feel it, because I'm bound to miss some. But you don't want to overmix it. You want cold butter. I don't know what witchcraft requires cold butter, but it does require it. Now I got most of it broken up in there. I'm just going to break up the rest of the big pieces of butter with my hand. I'm just pinching it quick and getting it off my hand so it stays cold. Just want to make sure the butter is broken up into pea-sized shapes. Whenever I get butter on my fingers, you just run it around in the flour. Pea-shaped isn't really a scientific term, you know. Peas come in all different shapes and sizes. And I'm not racist against vegetables. I'm not going to body shame the peas. So I'm just going to go with smallish balls of butter. Now we need a cup of milk. I'm gonna put the cup on the cutting board and then pour into it. That way, when I overflow it, it doesn't make a huge mess. That's about a cup. I should have preheated the oven. I just realized that. Let's dump this in and do that. And now I'm just gonna mix this butter into this flour slowly. You don't want to overmix it. Biscuits are weird. They don't require a lot of mixing, not a lot of handling. You just kind of go with it. And it's going to be sticky. This dough is going to be a sticky mess. That's okay. That's what you want. Scrape. I left the flour on my hand so I can still touch this a little bit and not have it get out of control on me. Oh, it's really sticking. Nice hard dough. There we go. Let's get this counter cleaned off. So I got my counter mostly wiped and dried. I'm just going to sprinkle some flour down onto it because this dough is a real sticky mess. All right, got the dough right here. I just realized that this bowl has milk on the bottom of it, so all that drying didn't do good. We're just going to dump her out. Come on. Get out of there. It's going to come out in clumps. It's okay. We're going to push it all together. Beautiful. Flour on my hands. We're going to push this dough together and start flattening her out. Hand on one side, hand on the other. We're just going to push it out into whatever shape you so wish. Rectangle-ish. You just want to get it flattened out. You could use a rolling pin, you could do whatever you want, but just flattening it works. And after I flatten it, I'm going to pick up one side, fold it in half. I need to put down some more flour because that milk. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. That's how you get your layers in the biscuits. I'm going to flatten her out again. Alright, double fold again. I like lots of potential layers in my biscuits. Let's get a little bit more flour down. Alright, now we're going to start flattening her out to cut biscuits. Maybe a ½ inch-ish. I'm going to be cutting and reforming this multiple times because I don't like to waste any of the dough, so I'll keep going with it. After I start cutting out my shapes, my circles. Nice and cold dough, which is what you want. That's pretty good and flat. And we get out my cutter here, and you just press it down, and you can't twist this when you cut a biscuit. I think it's because they won't rise because the edges will seal, so I don't twist it. I just cut it, gently lift it up, grab my sheet which has magically appeared. I'm just going to set a biscuit there. I'm going to fold that back down and get another one cut out. Boop. Not going to twist it, just going to push it down nice and hard. Lift her up. These are so quick and so easy. And we're just going to, you want these to touch. So we push them next to one another in the pan. Now these extra little scraps I'm going to use. These are actually a little bit thicker than I like them, but I think that'll be okay. It's kind of sticking to the counter, so I'm just gently peeling her up. There we go. We've got 3 biscuits. We're just going to cut all these, like so. So what we have here is a whole bunch of mostly cut up biscuit dough. And what I'm going to do is stack it all back on top of one another, like so. Get it all back together in layers. And then I'm just going to push it all back down. Use my hand to keep the edge secure. Get it all pushed back together and pushed back down so I can cut more biscuits out of it. This is just more layers. More layers, more better. Just like butter. Pull that bad boy. This recipe is supposed to make 9 to 10. I got 9 on there right now, I think. Sprinkle a little bit more flour down. Give this, we'll probably get one more out of this little guy right here. This extra dough right here, this isn't really going to be enough to do anything with. I could flatten it out and cook it just to see what happens. Why not? It won't have a sealed edge, or it will have a sealed edge. But you know, it's science. Why waste any biscuit? We'll just pop him right there. So now we have a beautiful big plate of biscuits, pan of biscuits. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Not too bad. Time to get these in the oven. And we'll give them 20 minutes in, I don't know, for something. I'm gonna cut up some butter here for my sausage gravy. Where's that? That's 2 tablespoons-ish. Close enough, I think. We can add more if we need it. Put my butter in the pan. I have my pan on a solid medium high. It's not up to heat yet, but I'm gonna get these onions in here. I'm gonna give them a little bit extra time to heat up, absorb some of this butter. I'll also be able to hear it when it gets up to heat this way. We have some nice sizzling going. And what I have here on the plate is a sausage donut. And I'm going to flip this out into the pan. Oh, it won't come out. That's cool. You know, when you do stuff in your head, you think, well, that'll work. And then when you do it in reality, and it doesn't work, that's just kind of life. I'm just going to move this around on my own. The reason I'm doing this, so it has, I'm spreading it out with my hands. Sue me. So it has room to brown, and there's also air gaps, so the steam can get out. We got this on a nice medium high. Just going to poke this a little bit. Oh, it's already starting to release some fat. That's what I'm talking about. I want to keep the center open for steam to get out. I'm just poking it a little bit to get it to break up. We don't need to cook this aggressively. We just want it to be brownish, cook through, and then we're going to turn it into gravy. Now that we're getting close to being done, I'm going to start throwing in some seasonings. We got a half a teaspoon of this Cajun. Love that stuff. A heaping teaspoon, half a teaspoon of garlic. And with the smoked paprika, I just want to sprinkle a little pinch in there. That's just going to really smoke it up a little bit. And I'm going to toss in some, I'm going to turn this down and toss in my oregano. Just rip some up. Rip it up with my hand into nice little pieces. And sprinkle it in here. We don't need that stem. Our pork sausage is pretty much done. Yep. We're going to turn this down. We're going to throw some flour in here to start the gravy process. Got my heaping tablespoon. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. And I'm going to get one more heaper. Sprinkle that over the top too. And we're going to aggressively stir this in. We're going to cook this for about a minute. Turn the heat back up to medium to get that flour cooked just a little bit before we dump in our milk. I don't know where my 1 cup measuring cup went. That's problematic. Make sure I get the edges pushed down. Boy, that smells good. I'll tell you what, that smells good. I'm constantly stirring this because I don't want any one bit of the flour to not cook. We want it to be nice and cooked evenly. Breaking it up some more, crumbling it. I don't like big pieces of sausage in my gravy. I like it to be a little bit more soupy. Really sink into those biscuits. Whew, so good. This is one of those meals that gets me so excited. I used to always get it from a restaurant. Like, you know, get delivery in the morning, some biscuits and gravy. So good. But I never made it, and I don't know. I was always scared to make biscuits because they seem weird. Like, what? I put butter in it, but I don't actually mix in the butter? What is this witchcraft? Yeah, turns out that's normal. Just how you do it. Alright, let's get some milk in here. There's still some flour on my 1 cup measuring cup. Don't judge me. I'm just going to dump 2 cups of flour in, or milk in quick. This does not have to be exact. Just roughly 2 cups of milk, and we're going to stir this instantly. Stir it instantly. Get it mixed up. Crank the heat up. I'm going to get a whisk to finish this off because I prefer to whisk this together to get a nice smooth gravy. Now as we start to thicken up, I might add some more garlic powder. We'll play it by ear and see how it goes. If you don't like anything that's in this, you can just take that out. Like if you don't like onions, don't put onions in it. I would say if you don't like garlic, but who in the heck doesn't like garlic? Crazy people, that's who. Don't trust someone who doesn't like garlic. This isn't even up to heat yet. I can already feel it starting to thicken up with the whisk. You can probably hear it. It's a little bit more goopy. And you just boil this down, simmer it down to whatever thickness you personally prefer. It's very simple. I'm just stirring it a lot with the whisk to make sure that my flour doesn't clump up, even though it shouldn't. There's so much grease in here. And you don't drain it. That's the important part. That's what makes the grease. It's the flour mixed with the grease from the butter, the fat in the butter, the grease that comes out of the sausage when you cook it. And that mixes with the milk. And it does what can only be called witchcraft. Magical witchcraft. And it makes biscuits and gravy. The most delicious gravy. I'm just gonna put in some pepper because pepper is needed, and I forgot it earlier. It doesn't really matter when. Lots of pepper. When I think biscuits and gravy, it's that smell of the black pepper. When that hits, that's when you're like, oh, now we got it. Yep, that's what I've been looking for. Now you're talking my love language. I've seen some recipes that call for you to drain the fat from your sausage before you add in the flour and milk, and that's sacrilegious. That's disgusting. That's probably what they do in some place like California. A bunch of communists out there afraid to eat real food with flavor. Oh man, that's thickening up beautiful. I'm gonna poke it and taste it. Hot. Oh, damn, that's good. I do want some more garlic though. I actually want some more garlic. I'm just gonna do some aggressive shakes. And I also want, because I don't even know. We gotta turn this down. We gotta turn this down. Problems. Problems arise. Problems arise. Problems arise. I heard that bubbling when I was just sitting here trying to relax. We gotta stir now. We can't stop stirring to put in seasoning. Wait, I'm gonna turn it off and let it cool and then bring it back up. All right. We're gonna put in some of this Cajun seasoning. It's a really good spicy. It has a little bit of salt too. Very tasty. Okay. There we go. Now we're safe. Now we're safe. But it got scary there for a second. Oh, that edit was because this stuff makes me sneeze aggressively. So good, but it really does a trip on the nose. I think my camera might be steaming up too because I'm feeling the steam coming off. But this is done here, so I'm not even going to turn it back on. We're cooking. I'm not doing cooking. It's just the Cajun seasoning. Let's poke and taste. Hot, hot. Oh, that's good and thick too. Woo, baby, that's good. Oh, yeah. All right, we're just going to let this sit and wait for the biscuits. Boom. That one has seen better days, my experiment. But the rest of these are perfectly flaky. Oh, I mean, look at that. Look at that beautiful biscuit. We're going to let these cool. And that's all there is to biscuits and gravy. Now I'm just going to cut some of these up into a bowl and eat it with gravy. It's so easy. That easy. That was a song I just made up. Look at these. I don't know if you guys can see this on the camera, but we have these beautiful layers. And it just pulls apart. Let's have a little piece. Just pull that layer out. God damn it, I love a biscuit. No. Oh man, those are buttery. Oh yeah. I'm going to crumble this up into my bowl. Just bring my finger. Some people will just throw a whole biscuit in there. I like to break it up a little bit so I get more gravy absorption. Woo! Hot mommy. Look at the steam coming off that. How many do we want? We want 3 biscuits. I am starving and I'm hungover. I'm going to take my little sad biscuit. The little sad one that doesn't really have layers. Boom. No. Oh, I just almost stuck my hand in the gravy. That would have been suboptimal. Then we just take a scoop of gravy. Spread that out on top. Take another scoop of gravy. Probably got some on the counter. It's okay. Spread that out. We need 1 scoop of gravy per biscuit. I just made that up too. I need a fork. That's steamingly hot. Now we're going to mix all this up. into what I can only refer to as delicious heaven. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna burn my face off. I'm just gonna burn my face off. Oh, a piece fell. This really hits the spot. It really hits the spot. Damn it, that's good. Damn it, that's good. What I usually do is I'll have biscuits out. It's still a Cajun seasoning. What I'll usually do is I'll have biscuits out and I'll just randomly walk by and dip them in the pan. Eat more. They're so good. Look at how I make biscuits and gravy, guys. You can't ask for anything easier. Look how tall and beautiful that biscuit is. They're just so flaky. And so good. This is what you do. Middle of the day. You got this shit on the stove. You just walk by. Dip. So good. All right, everyone. Thank you. I'm gonna go now. Ta-ta.